welcome to DevOpsCon. I'm here with Jörg from Mesosphere. Hey.
Hi.
How's your session?
Great. It was a lot of fun, especially also the discussions afterwards were great. So just seeing how many people care and how many people are experiencing those nightmares. So my talk, it was about nightmares with container orchestration systems. So there are a lot of talks showing you like a cool demo, how to set it up. And I always felt this is not telling the real story, because in reality it's bloody and dirty and things fail. So I wanted to share some of the stories where things are actually failing and the learnings people should take away from that.
And what is the scariest of them all? I mean, what's your favorite scary story?
I think there's not one favorite story, but it's kind of a theme that containers and interfaces, they make a lot of things easy. So for example, containers, they look like virtual machines, so a lot of people use them without really understanding what's happening underneath. NoSQL data stores like JAXenter, they look like traditional Postgres databases. CQL, it looks very similar. And so people use and treat them as relational databases. And this is where I really see failures happening because people don't understand the underlying level underneath. So just one example with containers and Java. As it's all running on the same kernel, Java, it has gotten a little better with Java 9, is picking up the overall number of cores on that machine. And this means if you develop it on your local machine and then you move to this large production cluster or machine with 120 to 128 cores or even more, then all of a sudden things start to fail because Java believes it has 128 cores available and doesn't respect the container limits. As said, it has gotten a little better with Java 9, but you still really have to be aware of what's happening. What does it mean to run something in a container? And this is where I hope also conferences like this help to just educate people and give them the knowledge to avoid such issues.
Well, hopefully it will get better with the Java 10, right? And what can we do to avoid these pitfalls? I mean, usually speaking, not...
I think it's just exchanging knowledge. Talk about, as said before, just conferences like this where people exchange. A lot of people have gone through that pain. I feel that I recently moved to San Francisco. I feel that people there, like half a year, you see this pain wave, what pain people experience, that people are like half a year ahead on this pain wave. So I believe just the exchange with other people who have gone through that before is really, really helpful. In general, with some of those things, not with all, it's good to look at, for example, what Google or Facebook are doing, what they're developing, because they usually experience that pain even earlier because they are running at a different scale.
And in terms of the Java situation, what would be the best approach?
The best approach is if you're aware of that and you can so it's basically the problem is that Java is picking up a lot of its default behavior based on this environment where they are running in, and the environment is not really cgroups aware. So first of all, as I said, with Java 9, it's becoming more and more cgroups aware, but what helps is to be aware of what's happening and then overrides those parameters explicitly. Overrides the number of default garbage collection threads, overrides the number of default threads in a common fork join pool, and all this kind of things. And then it runs very nicely.
I see. Thank you. And there are a lot of things happening in the Mesosphere world right now. And a couple of months ago, there was the first beta release of a Kubernetes running on TCOS, right? Was released. And what does it mean? Why is it, if it is obviously a very big milestone, what does it mean for users?
So if you talk to people, once you have Kubernetes up and running, it's great. It has a nice interface and it's really developer friendly. But operators usually, they don't like Kubernetes that much because it's really hard to set up in a fault tolerant, in a resilient way, and also in a secure way. So, and this is exactly where I believe the value of DCOS comes in, that it allows you to install all those appliances, Spark, Kafka, Cassandra and Kubernetes on your private data center, on the cloud, or wherever you're running, which is usually experience you get when you use a GCE, when you use a Google Cloud. Then you can install it, the Google version of it, also in a very easy way. But if you're controlling your own cluster, it's not that easy. And I believe this is what this milestone is giving you. Also, just imagine you need to run multiple Kubernetes clusters on a common cluster. Then this also is very helpful in doing so. So everything in setting up and maintaining a Kubernetes cluster, potentially next to Cassandra or Kafka or other clusters.
And what's next for Mesosphere? This year or beyond?
This year is almost ending, but we'll still have one release. I believe the next two big topics which I'm seeing are in the container world are those service meshes such as Istio. And the other workload which I really see thriving is machine learning. So especially utilizing GPUs for deep neural networks. This is something which is really coming, and there we also had the other beta release of the TensorFlow package, for example.
Cool.
And so I believe this platform where you can run all different kinds of workloads, machine learning, containers, and if you need another container orchestrator such as Kubernetes, you can just also run it on top. I think this is where the mission is, or the vision is going next year.
That's a cool thing because, machine learning is one of the hottest topics right now, and containers as well, so combining the two.
Yeah, so for example, one great thing about Mesos and therefore DCOS is that we have really good GPU isolation. And that means that you can easily run multiple of those frameworks. What I usually see with people who are doing machine learning, they don't have a single framework. They're actually running multiple of those. One group might like PyTorch, another might like to use TensorFlow. So you have to maintain all of those also on a shared cluster, and therefore you have to isolate all resources, including GPUs.
Exciting.
So, yeah.
And last but not least, what is the area or areas that are mostly impacted by containers, where they really make a difference?
I believe it's not so much the container technology itself, but it's the operational ease I get by using the container technologies. And I believe it's this movement that we see a lot more deployments happening. We are moving towards this microservice scale. And the other thing I feel where containers are changing quite a bit is just the packaging format. So, okay, this is going to be personal opinion, not representing any company opinion, but so I believe the most valuable piece in the Docker ecosystem is the Docker image format. And this is, when I look at all other container runtimes, this is what's being reused. All container runtimes I know, they can understand Docker images. So just being able to package your applications with all its dependencies into a format, this is something really valuable, and this is really impacting how operations of large clusters are being done, or even smaller clusters.
I see. Thank you. Thank you for the interview, and have a lovely time at the conference.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.